We're even more almost done than we were last week, everybody. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. That's the least clunky intro I've ever done. I think it's very, very good. I'm very proud of it. Anyway, I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-host, Lauren and Bruce. And today we are on a penultimate episode of Sonic the Comic Stories. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Almost there.
Yeah.
Which also means...
stuff's actually going to start happening in this episode.
Yes, we are doing the penultimate saga of Sonic the Comic and entering the final saga of Sonic the Comic. Neither of which is what we're actually starting with. We're starting with the last two time zone stories, which are they sure are time zone stories.
They are. It's easier to put up with these ones.
Well, we're almost done with them, so that helps.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
We're beginning here with Mirror Image, Stringer and Nelson. Sonic and Amy enter an inverted zone where everything is the same, but Sonic has taken Robotnik's place. I can't believe the Knuckles mirror self is coming back.
Oh!
Damn, yeah.
I didn't remember that.
I didn't even think of that, yeah.
And the writers probably hoped we didn't, because it's really, really similar.
It is, yeah.
So, yeah, the Kintober computer detects bad vibes in the zone. How does it detect bad vibes?
It's such a scientific measurement. Bad vibes.
It's got the vibe check program.
Apparently.
This also happens on another celebration of Robotnik's defeat party day.
I will never not find them burning effigies of Robotnik funny. That's just so silly.
It's strange. It's not what I would expect. But these comics are strange.
Yeah.
Yep. But Sonic and Amy forego this celebration and enter a zone portal to find the place that they just were. But now the people are preparing to burn Sonic effigies. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Everyone is terrified because they're like, oh no, it's King Sonic.
Oh, that's terrifying. They're in a Pender story now? Oh,
I was about to say, damn, these comics predicted it.
Oh, and here I was going to go with Sonic and the Black Knight, but yeah, that's probably...
fair enough.
Yeah, but they're all like, wait, he's not got his robot guards, so we can attack him.
Let's kill him now before whatever happens.
Okay, but like, the Sonic they know still is like this Sonic, so like, they really think they could take on Sonic?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I guess their Sonic would necessarily have to be weaker if he's going to be relying on robot friends. There's even an Amy and a Tails here to attack them, which ends up being...
So I don't get, if this is a mirror zone, how come the Amy and the Tails are not on the other Sonic side?
That's exactly. I was expecting this to be something like the Anti-Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, this is not... They call it a mirror zone, but it's anything but. This is a specifically evil Sonic zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know if that's much of a mirror... Whatever.
Not really.
Especially since that's part of the solution, is that Amy talks to Amy, and that helps them cool things down.
Right, that helps them realize, oh, this isn't the Sonic that we want to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amy is just like, this is a mirror zone. Another Amy is like, oh, wait, you're from a mirror zone? Our zone? Okay, great. I believe you instantly.
I believe
down.
Damn, it's a surprise King Sonic wasn't able to just wipe these idiots out.
Well, our Sonic says that the Sonic of this timeline must have absorbed the evil from the Emeralds instead of Kintober, which is, that's an alternate history thing. But A, that would mean that he should be Supersonic, right? And B, it's not a fucking mirror universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a butterfly effect, which is the opposite of a mirror.
Yeah.
But yes, that means that we do get to evil King Sonic. He even has a fucking Robotnik fortress that's shaped like his head.
It's all very Robotnik core, which tells me that all came from the accident. Anyone who would have been part of that accident would have turned out like that.
Huh. I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. We also get a whole 4 panels of his robot guards. Sorry for yawning while saying that. They're very boring.
They are, because Sonic just tells them to kill themselves.
They're just troopers, but we've got another case of random monochrome robots.
Well, they do have hedgehog quills on them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what those are meant to be.
Quills.
That's what I assume they're supposed to be, but yeah, they're not particularly.
That's actually kind of funny. I think you're right. I think they did do that on purpose.
I assume it's the case.
Yeah. But when we finally do get to Evil King Sonic here, he looks exactly the same as our Sonic, just has a crown and a cape.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to see an evil Sonic, like an alternate universe evil Sonic, I should say, in Sonic the comic. But this is even weaker than like original Scourge.
Yeah. Because he's not even that much more of a dick than like regular Sonic is.
At least in terms of how he talks, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that.
He's just kind of a hammy guy who wants to take over everything.
Basically.
He can't even be purple like the Shadow World monster Sonic. You know, the one that existed for one panel?
Oh, yeah.
But they fight, and evil Sonic is like, I'll win because good Sonic doesn't have killer instinct.
I mean, sure.
But
I guess.
Our Sonic is, I guess, fighting a war of attrition, because he's like, oh, I just have to keep pushing him more and more until... That's not how the chaos energy works in this comic.
Not really?
No, it's supposed to be when you're in danger, not just when you go all out.
Yeah.
And Sonic is like not fighting back very much because apparently Evil Sonic is better than him, which is kind of odd.
Well, and importantly, if we're doing a story where it's an alternate history where Sonic absorbed the chaos evil energy instead of Robotnik, then going Super Sonic shouldn't make him good.
Yeah, this really makes no sense. This is the writers trying to be like, oh, this is a mirror zone, but like they did a terrible job at portraying it as a mirror zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, that because normal Sonic is evil here, Super Sonic is uneval.
He's chill, and apparently they're just gonna find a way to keep him in the supersonic form.
Yeah, they really gloss over that. They're just like, oh, Techno will find a way.
Yeah, Techno, just casually Techno can figure it out.
Techno's not even here.
Okay, but don't keep him as Supersonic by separating him from Sonic, because then as soon as Supersonic like runs out of chaos energy, they'll turn evil.
Oh wait, they mean their universe version of Techno.
Yeah, they mean their universe of Techno version.
But yes, you're also right, Lord. Don't do what the main series did.
No, yeah, just like keep regular Sonic Super.
That would be really weird, though. Imagine like a team up of normal universe Supersonic in evil version and this evil Sonic, and like this version of Supersonic with regular Sonic. It'd be so weird.
That would be weird.
Maybe you should merge not Sonic and Supersonic, but this universe Sonic and our universe Sonic, and that way both normal and Supersonic are just neutral.
Yeah, I guess that would work too.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Anyway, the story is boring. Let's move along to the next one. All right, our final episodic story, our final friggin' Stringer McMahon filler, whatever. This is Secret of the Gods. And I forgot to write a description for this one, but Sonic and Amy use the Ring of Eternity to go to ancient Egypt and fight the aliens that are motivating the people to build the pyramids, because that's canon to this universe for some reason.
Someone read Chariot of the Gods.
Perhaps.
The lore of like Earth in Sonic the Comic is bizarre. Like,
it is fucking weird.
It would be interesting to piece together after we're done with this comic, like, okay, so
what's
it's not the comic universe. There are all these things, and this is how history went, apparently.
Yeah, what's the history of Earth in Sonic the Comic?
Yeah. So, we were imposing fantasy comic storytelling on Native Americans last week, and now we're doing ancient Egyptians, although I suppose they may be used to that at this point, given what pop culture has done. But, hey, we're using the Ring of Eternity. We weren't before. I don't know why it makes much of a difference.
It really doesn't. Although
really.
This time you get like a preview, and like Sonic sees someone getting beaten because they're a slave, is like, I gotta help them, which means like, wait, as soon as he sees trouble anywhere, he's instantly got to jump in. Like, you could occupy him forever with this thing.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, Ring of Eternity could just have him do its dirty work the same way that Amy and Techno were just barely managed to escape from.
True.
Amy wearing an outfit that appears to be one large shirt, by the way.
Yeah. Oversized shirt or something.
McMahon's art style is weird.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But, we go to ancient Egypt because we're horrified by the treatment of slaves building the pyramids.
Which, we're creating a time paradox here.
Huh?
Well, I guess not technically. I don't know. My brain immediately goes any kind of time travel plot goes to where can I find them trying to change history?
Well, I mean, the pyramids are built, so I don't know.
Yeah, also, I guess we're going for the myth that the pyramids were built by slaves, which is not historically accurate.
Really?
Yeah, no, they weren't. It's fairly well known by this point that they were built by contractors that were treated fairly well. They're even buried near the pyramids.
I didn't know that at all. That's actually really interesting. I'll have to look that up. Anywho, Sonic whacks the slave master, and they tell him, "Oh, the gods are going to be angry about this." And then Amy's
And then
like,
Sonic is like, gods don't exist.
Gods aren't real, and then the gods show up.
"Well, it's funny." Amy says something about that too.
Well, it's just like there are gods in this universe. Like
It's true, there
Amy
are.
met Zeus, so
That's a good point.
It's very funny to be an atheist in a series where, yeah, there is a pantheon.
Wait,
Which I guess in Amy's case, that's a Final Horizon preview 24 years in advance.
Hold on, though. That's a good point. That means Amy has just decided the only gods that exist are the ones that I've met, even though the existence of Zeus, to me at least, would tell me, oh, maybe other gods exist.
Well, and let's remember that she also met those dinosaur guys that started the life that she was born from on her planet, and they were like, oh yeah, we work for somebody special.
That might
I feel like Lou Stringer would be an interesting person to talk to about religion. But yes, the gods are indeed real and have a fucking airship.
Yeah, now we're instead of just taking from Charity of the Gods, we're taking from Stargate.
Maybe. Yeah, we have Thoth, we have Hathor, we have Set, or Sutek, whatever it's called. Yeah, Sutek is indeed mad. He shoots a laser beam at Sonic and Amy. But then Hathor's like, stop, and Thoth is like, if we're gonna be gods, we have to be wise, so we can't be fucking things up here.
Fair enough, honestly.
Yeah. But then the Set's like, well, that's the same mindset that got us banished from our home world. So, yeah, the gods are aliens.
Yeah, I mean,
and that
to be fair, that's not
like, okay, time to jump into action.
Cool. They're not literal gods. They're just aliens. I can beat them up.
Yep.
I feel like that shouldn't stop Sonic anyway.
No, Sonic would beat up God.
True.
Yep. He grabs Sutek's staff and then spin attacks him. And that, apparently that act alone proves to everybody watching that they're not gods, which leads to like a slave revolt.
Well, so, I mean, yeah, I don't think you can, like, punch God, like we were saying. So that's pretty
Yeah,
well
I'm
tracked.
pretty sure that's, yeah.
You say slave revolt, I mean, sort of. They're kind of just in shock, actually.
I think it seems to kind of feel like it's leading to something like a slave revolt. Especially because then Set turns on the other two.
I call it a revolt, and you're right, because they're in shock, and then Amy just says they won't be slaves to these aliens now, which implies some kind of revolt to me, but you're right, it doesn't actually visualize that.
It doesn't actually show anything, but it seems pretty implied.
Okay, I mean, I thought that they were just like, all right, I guess they're just not going to listen to them now. Problem solved. The real kicker here is that Amy drops the staff on the ground and then just leaves.
Yeah, they go home.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sutek blasts him with another laser. Or he blasts his friends with a laser.
Yeah.
Like, their job wasn't done here, really.
Well, you've clearly left them still in obvious danger.
Yeah.
And, case in point, they go home to Mobius. He follows them.
Yeah, it was a pretty dumb move on their part.
Yeah, story's not over. He's like, oh, I'll conquer this place instead.
Mm-hmm.
Except, obviously, we only have one page left, so no, he doesn't.
No, until he gets stuck in fucking limbo.
Yeah, now it's time for my Doctor Who reference as Techno reverses the polarity and banishes Sutek into the vortex, much like in Pyramids of Mars.
Ah, good shit. I don't remember Pyramids of Mars that well. Frankly, I don't even fucking remember Empire of Death that well. Why are the finales in modern Doctor Who so bad? Anyway, yeah, he's deleted. He's trapped in the void now, and that's it.
Never have to think about him again, I hope.
Nope. I mean, I haven't read Sonic Comic Online, but probably not.
Okay,
Let's move along here to this is sort of the start of the next saga, so let's move along. This is Splitzoid, Stringer, and Elson. Sonic, Amy, and Techno fight a dangerous new Robotnik machine that duplicates itself when damaged.
We only see him briefly, but it's cool to see Robotnik back in his classic garb after a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was in the Shanazar outfit most of the time before.
Yeah, we're actually seeing him dressed like Robotnik. And I also like to see him using his lack of reputation in these new zones to get away with doing shit.
Yeah.
Robotnik seems really good at trickery.
Yes.
Yep, they've taken advantage of this science dude here to develop a new combat android.
Yeah.
Which, I guess makes the Ring of Eternity start giving off weird energy. Not sure how those things connect.
Because he comes through the Ring of Eternity.
Yeah, there isn't really a link. It just seems like Robotnik hacked the ring or something and then sent it through.
I don't think like an actual connection. Yeah, it's just he came through it, so the ring warns them.
He also shoots Sonic on the way through.
Yeah.
So immediately establishing itself as a threat, which is good. And yeah, Sonic attacks, he knocks it down, but two robots stand up. It's almost like there's a significant reason that it's named the Splitzoid.
Okay, so, like, it's obvious, and, like, Robotnik is famous for being really stupid in certain obvious ways, but, you know, there are two of them. Why don't they just attack each other a few times and create an army?
That's a good point.
Yeah, because, like, we can't say that law of conservation of mass is at play here.
No, I mean, I guess there might be a reasoning from later in the story, but I don't think that would.
I do not understand the end of the story, so I guess
the end of the story is odd.
Still takes Sonic and friends a minute to figure it out, because Amy shoots one and another splits off from it.
Like, guys, come on, it's not that hard to figure out.
They're numbered,
they literally give it away. They're like, impact induced, replicatability engaged. Maybe it's like, I wonder what that means. And Sonic is like, don't listen, don't just fight.
It's like, if you listen to the words, they explain their meanings, guys.
Well, at least Techno is smart enough to see it.
Yeah.
Of course.
So Sonic decides, okay, well, if we can't fight them, we should just lead them away from Emerald Hill. And, we'll lead them away from Emerald Hill into Ice Cap Zone. No! Stringer, that's on Angel Island.
It's funny, there's two Ice Cap Zones.
They're both on Angel Island.
3, then.
No. There's not a third one. Anyway, Sonic gets shot at, but it causes an avalanche on the mountain, which buries the robots. Oh, problem should be solved, right?
Yeah, you think so.
No. Also, Amy and Techno are following on this floating platform thing. That should have been the spinning top that they made back in the first Amy and Techno stories.
Yeah?
I wish they kept it around. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously the bots aren't dead. In fact, the impact from the avalanche split each of them in two, which really makes me wonder how much force it takes. I mean, an avalanche isn't small. How does that work?
Could you just walk up and poke one? Would that make a change?
Yeah.
These things don't make sense.
Not
They also happen to be as fast as Sonic. That's why they were able to chase him here. And also, they can just break through the snow, which, I mean, I guess that's not so much of a feat.
As fast as Sonic. Amy and Techno are dodging them easily. It's just
true.
Just trying to talk up the severity of the threat, cheap. I see what you do
basically.
here. Although I suppose they also say that the cold is slowing them down, so whatever.
Yeah, I had a reason to bring that up, and I don't remember why, actually.
Well, so they actually say that they're kind of slowing down, but like the original one isn't slowed down.
Yeah, so they're right. That was what I was thinking. I think the more they split, the more the copies are kind of less useful.
Xerox of a Xerox, I guess.
Basically, yeah.
It kind of seems like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in any case, that means that the original is still dangerous, so he chases Sonic into this cave where Sonic...
I want to point out also, he says, escape is impossible. I'm almost as fast as you, Sonic. That means escape is very much possible.
Yeah. But yeah, he follows Sonic into this cave where he traps them in this thing?
Yeah, so, I mean, it just seems like, I tried to trap them in ice. Didn't work, so I'll trap them in ice.
Yeah, I mean...
what is this thing?
So... my guess is there are
just
those...
an ice trap, I guess. Okay.
There are those ice blower things in Ice Cap Zone.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think this is one of those, even though it doesn't look like that. But
I guess that does make sense.
It also looks like... I don't know. It looks like a cryogenic tube or something.
It does, yeah.
And this also shuts down the other robots. I guess that could work if it has a signal connected to them, but it doesn't say that.
Yeah,
I would assume there's some sort of hive mind.
Apparently, yeah. It just works.
Yeah, I mean, it just works.
I don't know. It's not like this was a particularly interesting opponent, so I don't really care that much.
Fair
But
enough.
like, if their heroes weren't idiots and actually had to like work this out, and they didn't just suddenly decide, oh, this is what happens, now we win, maybe it would have been a little better.
Yeah. Well, in any case, let's finish off here with the penultimate saga, and also I think the last bit of writing that Stringer did for the comic. This is the game over arc, and we're starting here with Planet in Peril, Stringer and Elson. Robotnik and Grimer form a partnership with the Plax, and Mobius is soon subject to strange weather patterns and life decaying. And we're starting on
Merry Christmas, everyone!
fucking Christmas again.
Christmas. Woo! This is like the third week in a row we've had a Christmas story.
I don't know. Who cares? Eggman is angry as usual, but he's a different kind of angry.
He's kind of lost it.
He's angry enough to not care much about taking over Mobius anymore. It seems Amy's words after Shanazar really got to him, because he's less of a conqueror now, and he mostly just feels like destroying Mobius.
Oh boy, my favorite plot. The supervillain just wants to destroy the planet. What are you gonna do when you destroy it, bud?
Well, so this Robotnik is just pure evil.
He
so,
is.
Like, I can see this completely.
Yeah.
It's not that much of a stretch.
No, I'm not saying it's a stretch. I just don't like it as a plot device.
It's frustration. It's the missile thing from Adventure 1. It's if I can't have it, nobody can.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of that for villains.
I think it's you're writing yourself into kind of a hole, which I guess makes sense since the comic is ending soon. But it's certainly not complex, is it?
No.
Not really.
I don't hate it, and it does lead to a very strange partnership, because yes, the Plax from that Shanazar story where they fought Sonic, they show up, and they're like, oh,
I'm gonna
we
be
want to
honest,
destroy Mobius too.
I'd completely forgot they existed already.
Well,
They
yeah,
weren't very memorable.
because why these ones of all things? You may as well have brought back the little
There.
freak from that other Christmas story.
I would be more interested in that because the Santa lore runs deep in these comics.
Yeah. But yes, the Plax also hate Mobius, and they think that Robotnik is their key to destruction.
They view him almost like the chosen one, like some spiritual leader.
So here's the thing, right? The Plaques are like not alive, I guess. They're like plastic. I mean,
Yeah.
they act like they're machines, basically, because they're like, it's time for the rise of the machines, and we're gonna wipe out all life on Mobius, and so this living being will help us. Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, not really a thought process there, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we just don't have a lot of elaboration on what exactly they are. We know they're made of plastic, and we know that they are manufactured because they had their drill was manufacturing them, but
Right.
does that make them robots? I don't know.
I mean, artificial life forms don't have to be called robots.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I like uncertain alliances among villains, but, it's
Fair.
a little shaky. So, Kintobra and AI warned Sonic and Techno about energy readings, and why is he a giant CG head now? He's terrifying.
Yeah, this is their new design, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely green, no color, 3D, very
I
odd.
don't like it.
No, it's
It's gross.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Well, I'm glad the comic doesn't continue very long with that. Anyway, the weather is going crazy. We got lightning storms outside, and Techno's like, something feels evil. It's so evil that the Christmas tree falls and almost crushes two people.
Nothing's more evil than that on Christmas.
damn.
Everything's dissolving into sand.
Yeah, so Techno's like, oh look, it's an anti-life virus. Huh. Seems more like an anti-plant virus. Like, why aren't you all affected?
Yeah. Good question.
Maybe it's anti-life, but plants are the first to go. Also, this evil snow monster tells Sonic everything is dying, and so will the heroes. So I agree with the snow monster that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a really weird way to
Yeah.
phrase that. But Sonic also smashes it for its good deed of giving him information, but it tries to kill him, so it's fine.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
there's
it
the spirit.
tells him information, but it's not being like a good guy.
Yeah, he's not just an NPC you can talk to in a video game. He's an enemy.
Yeah, he's a boss.
It reforms, and Techno's like, it's not snow, it's made of nanites pushing the snow around. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the anti-life virus. It's just a coincidence. Or I guess they just sent another thing.
Yeah.
So Sonic does the cocoon of speed thing around it, and then lightning from the storm strikes it down. That's pretty convenient. Can you predict where that's going to happen?
Yeah, so Techno is like, wow, use your speed cocoon to divert the electrical storm. Great use of science. How is that scientific? What?
Yeah,
I mean-
I'm not. I guess it's kind of scientific.
If it's made of nanites, if you reshape them into almost like a lightning rod, that would be cool.
Okay, but that's
Yeah.
not what they did. They just
No, it's not.
enclosed it in a
No.
cocoon.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's comic book logic.
Of course.
But everybody's like, obviously Robotnik is behind this, so we're gonna help. We're gonna do stuff. It's one of those bridges to other stories.
Basically,
Yep.
Also, hey, Short Fuse, I haven't seen you in a while. You're gonna
Yeah.
help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't seen Shorty in a while.
And that's the end. Then the next one starts. This is the Terra Connection, Stringer and Elson. Techno locates an energy signature from within the Ring of Eternity, and the gang travels to Earth to investigate.
Speaking of characters we haven't seen in a while, Knuckles.
Knuckles, I feel like my old friend has come home from a long journey.
Yeah, we really haven't seen Knuckles in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not really going to see him much here either.
Not
Fortunately.
really.
He is at least helping. You know, he's saving some people from getting washed away by a flood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's still Knuckles. He's great, but
Yeah, no, he's good.
we're just saying hi and then going to the plot basically.
Basically, yeah.
Tails shows up to give him a hand. I guess he set out for Angel Island? I don't know where we are exactly.
Yeah, we're on
Then
Angel Island.
Okay, but why are there people on Angel Island?
I'm not sure. Actually, we may not be on Angel Island. Knuckles might have.
The narration box just says not far away when it goes to Amy, Techno, Sonic, and Short Fuse, and they're with the Ring of Eternity, so that has to be near home.
Yeah, so maybe Knuckles went down to Mobius.
Maybe
For
just
some
figure out what's
reason.
going on. I don't know.
I guess that makes enough sense.
Yeah. But Techno says the bad energy is coming from somewhere, so the ring is gonna get us to where that is. And the
More
place-
bad vibe detections.
The place of all places ends up being Easter Island, Earth.
Yeah, we just end up on Earth, and oh no, Earth is having the exact same problem.
Interesting.
Finally, Sonic's gonna form a coalition with the humans to fight Robotnik. No.
Yeah,
nothing like that.
we're gonna use the help of Colonel Granite. Clearly,
He better be in fucking prison.
fuck prison. He better be dead. Should have been put down for what he was trying to do.
Anyway, the Easter Island heads rise up out of the ground and attack them.
That's kind of rad.
Yeah, I know that the real ones, some of them at least, do have fully modeled bodies, but have just sunk beneath the ground so much that only the heads are visible.
Yeah.
But they also say defense program activated, so I don't think we're really being accurate to reality.
Well, no, but that's still rad as hell.
Yep. And so it's time for Sonic and Short Fuse to fight rock monsters.
Cool.
But the thing is, they just keep reforming because they're made of nanites like the snow monster from before.
Right.
So that sucks. But hey, one of them breaks open the ground, and Amy and Techno investigate inside because reasons?
They just have a hunch.
Yeah.
It's a convenient hunch, but yeah. Inside is a machine with some kind of alien technology, and that's probably what's controlling the nanites.
Probably. Sonic and Short Fuse are like working really well together. Like maybe it's just because the situation is like super dangerous, but like
They're not trying to steal the glory from each other.
yeah, it's surprising to see like Sonic just
They are,
like
yeah.
thank Short Fuse, genuinely when he like saves his life. It's like wow.
Sonic's done
It's-
some growing.
This is the character development, yes, the character progression. They've finally put aside their differences, even though it doesn't.
Basically, yeah.
Even though it doesn't portray it as that at all, it just seems convenient for the writing. But
Yeah.
Whatever.
Techno determines that this machine is draining Earth's energy and funneling it to somewhere on Mobius.
Interesting.
So that's something to take care of. The statues break in, and Amy's like, "Fuck it, we ball," and just shoots the machine with her crossbow. which makes the whole cavern explode. And Sonic's like, "Oh no, they're gonna be dead or hurt or something." No, they're fine.
Yep.
Why do you even bother? But as it happens, we can't reverse the energy transfer, apparently.
I mean, you just blew up
Damn.
the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the energy is still there, I guess. But the statues are busted, and now we have to look for the same location on Mobius, because clearly if you were taking energy from one planet, then it wasn't the thing taking Mobius's energy, I guess.
Yeah. That makes
So,
sense.
so we can now that I'm thinking about Earth lore. All right, in Earth lore, the Easter Island heads were made by aliens so that they could siphon energy to planet Mobius. Got to add that to the list.
Okay.
I guess? I don't know if they just repurposed what was already there, but I suppose.
Nah, I like my idea better. It's funnier.
Alright. Ancient Aliens is real this whole time. They've done like 7 episodes about the Easter Island heads.
Well, that Ancient Aliens comes from Chariots of the Gods, so it all wraps back around. Maybe it's the
and
Egyptian
they talked
gods.
endlessly about the pyramids. That's their fucking logo. Anyway, moving along here. Game over, Stringer and Elson. Dr. Robotnik puts his omnicidal plans into action, and every hero and villain at play is en route to his base to put an end to the conflict. And the plaques have become the new cult of Robotnik. They're giving a sermon on how great he is.
I think it was last story they were already claiming him as their like spiritual leader, but they're making it really clear here.
Well, and I do like that all of that is capped off by a dejected whatever. From Eggman.
He does not care.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
dude really has changed.
that's the thing, is that like even if we are saying that like, oh, just kill everything is really boring motivation for him, his utter lack of interest in everything becomes very funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's hooked into the generator, absorbing all the life energy being taken from Earth and Mobius.
Not suspicious at all.
Nah, totally not suspicious.
They do detect that Sonic and the gang have stopped the generator on Easter Island, and we cut to the heroes arriving at the facility Robotnik and Grimer were using before with that one science guy.
Yeah.
But shockingly, and forgive me for being suspicious, but Grimer runs out saying, "You have to stop Robotnik, he's gone mad."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a trick. This guy would never betray Robotnik under any circumstances. We just got
We haven't found
true loyalty has been proven.
That's no. That was my immediate thought. Is like, oh, clearly Grimer is this is a trick, clearly. But Grimer viewing Robotnik having gone too far is interesting.
Okay, yeah. So this is actually him being genuine. That's true.
He is genuine.
And okay, wait a minute. So this guy. He's verbally abused. He's choked. He's chased with deadly robots that Robotnik probably wouldn't care if they actually killed him. He gives Robotnik godly power. He doesn't care if he's cast aside as a useless pawn afterwards. And then he'll go and like devote his entire work for, I don't know, who knows how long, months maybe, to recover Robotnik. But then when Robotnik gets frustrated and decides that killing all life is the only way to win, Grimer's like, nah, it's too far. I won't follow him. Like, no. This guy would be completely committed. I don't believe this. This is ridiculous.
I think if they had just ebbed off a little bit on the threat to Grimer specifically, I think having him be self-interested and saying, wait a minute, that means I might die, I think that would work a lot better.
Yeah.
The only way I can rationalize this is that Grimer's like purpose in life is to be a servant to Robotnik, and if he's dead, he can't be that.
Yeah, but essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not extremely well portrayed. If he's meant to be genuine here, then him not being cool with something Robotnik wants is something that needs a lot more build-up.
Yeah, exactly.
Anywho, the plaques attack, and Sonic describes them as androids, so I guess they are robots.
Yeah.
But we solve this because Shorty has lasers, so he can mold them into a pillar of garbage.
Only works for a second, though.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, I guess they can reshape themselves too, so why they choose their skungly default appearance, I would never know.
Hey, it's
the
the form they
design.
prefer. Don't question their choices.
They're a hive mind. They exist to be questioned, whatever. But they keep trying to attack, and Grimer steps in and is like, hey, Robotnik is gonna kill you guys too, right? Like, if he's destroying Mobius, he's destroying everything, possibly including himself.
Yeah.
And then the plaques conveniently can read minds. And so they're like, yeah, it's true. All right, time to go betray Robotnik.
Which is weird, right? Because he never said he was going to spare them in the first place.
No, it really didn't seem like he was hiding anything. So I mentioned earlier that the plaques were kind of stupid for trusting Robotnik to this. But yeah, as we also pointed out earlier, he hooked up to a life-draining machine. Like, I would think that if they were going to drain life, they would just like... I mean, I don't know how that works, but no, don't siphon it into Robotnik. That doesn't make any sense. How does that follow from their plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it means that now everybody's going after Robotnik. We all run in to fight the now exposed false prophet who is never trying to deceive you anyway. But Robotnik shows off the power he's gotten from the energy transfer and blasts through them all with death lasers. Look at his laser eyes.
The laser eyes, like, jinking around looks really cool.
I've seen it before. Robotnik laser eyes is nothing new. So wait, he can just now destroy the plaques permanently? Like, okay, yeah, I guess he's all powerful again.
Yeah, I saw you talking about that earlier, and I would say that this does feel a bit like we've been here before.
Yeah.
I shouldn't jump ahead too much, but they do literally say it's like granting his every wish at this point, so...
And yes, he destroys all of them. Every single one is gone.
Damn.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I also like tenuous alliances, but the plaques were a bunch of idiots, and yeah, they have no chance. They just get destroyed instantly.
They're not like the Dracon.
No, not like the Dracons at all. Robotnik actually had to be sneaky for a long period of time. We had the whole fake out with Grimer, and like, I'm going to be honest, this feels like the Dracon plot, except every element is weaker.
A little bit, yeah. So Sonic runs in to take his shot, but Eggman is too strong now. He's so strong that he's not even fat anymore.
That is so wrong.
Yeah, he punched Sonic in the head, and he's also really big, and not as giant as in the other comic, but pretty big, so... He has him in his grasp. I think what it is that, like, when you do a plot like that with Robotnik, he needs to be desperate somehow, and he's not desperate if he's dejected and, like, nihilistic.
True.
Yeah.
So I just don't like that there's not a lot of buildup in any way, and like I said, the way he got here is just, like, with a bunch of idiot plastic sycophants. I don't know. Yeah.
So we cut again to Knuckles and Tails trying to evacuate the population, showing how volcanoes are erupting and the land itself is withering away. I think that's meant to be Emerald Hill where they are, so that's looking bad.
Yeah.
The rest of the heroes and Grimer catch up with Sonic. Shorty blasts Robotnik's chest, making him drop Sonic. He blasts back, though, which leaves Sonic an opening to attack, but that just has Sonic smash into the wall again because he's too strong. He's too fast, too. Even starts draining the life out of the girls directly, and they're becoming old.
Yeah, this is where the power lets me do whatever I can think of line comes from.
Yeah.
I will admit, though, even though he says that, like, he's not actually portrayed as all-powerful here, because, like, when we had the original God Robotnik, he, like, sparred with Sonic for a little bit and then broke out of his crystal thing and then just stopped fighting normally. But here, he does actually fight normally the whole time. He just has, like, laser eyes and is super strong and stuff. So
this is not Robotnik reigns supreme. This is Robotnik becomes a Dragon Ball villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Yeah.
It's almost like they're out of order. Like, if you had done this first but not made Robotnik want to kill everything and then built to the Godbotnik story, then that would have felt like a more logical progression.
Yeah, that's true.
Or if this had really some kind of debilitating side effect, which again plays into the desperation angle, which I guess it's killing the world, but if you'd have to actually care about that. Anywho, I like this exchange where Sonic's like, do you seriously want to destroy the world? And Robotnik's like, yes, you people had your chance to become my mindless badniks, and you blew it. So, old lady Techno works out a plan, wiring Short Fuse into the machine. We're just going to give him all of the death power. Short Fuse, who is always the most rational.
Yeah, good point.
Short Fuse goes mad with power. We have gotten evil Short Fuse in these comics before, though, so...
Yeah, but that means that it starts draining it from Robotnik. He starts losing power, which gives Sonic an opportunity to punch him in the face.
every time you have superpowered Robotnik, they just can't think of a better solution than just find the thing that gave him powers and undo.
Yeah, maybe that's another reason it's not an interesting story setup. Anyway, they drain lots of power from him, and then Shorty's cybernetic armor explodes.
You know, the impact of that would be a lot more if we hadn't already seen this happen.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a lot bigger of a deal if we hadn't had that story previously.
Or if this story had anything to do with Short Fuse. Like, if this were the culmination of something that was focused on him.
I guess,
True,
yeah.
they're just going to throw this in.
Yeah, but cybernetic armor is gone permanently. Doesn't come back.
Great, the character's ruined again.
Well,
kind of, yeah.
He's okay, but yeah.
I really like the expression that Knuckles has on this next page. He's just like me. He's done with things.
He's like, all right, I think these comics have gone on long enough. I had my fun.
Yep.
And yes, the machine is totally busted, which is why we cut back to Knuckles and Tails, to show everybody's okay. It's all done with. Also, the cave they were in is collapsing, so time for the heroes to make their exit.
We do have a nice Robotnik won't give up moment here, where, like, clearly he's lost, but he's like, come on, Grimer, help me fix the machine, which, okay, that's awfully convenient. He didn't notice Grimer was helping them earlier, but whatever. But yeah, he doesn't want to go, and oops, guess he's going to get buried.
Blocked by those rocks. It's trapped by those rocks. They'll be back.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
So, the day is saved, again, rather abruptly, but what else is new? The heroes return home, Sonic shakes Shorty's hand, and Techno makes sure to mention, I can build you a new cybernetic suit if the writers want it.
It sounds like the writers don't.
Yeah, not only is Techno not doing that, Short Fuse and Techno, this is their last story.
Really?
Wow.
Yep. Or at least it was in 1999 when this came out.
Sure.
You know, Sonic Comic Online has various writers from the official ones working on it, so
sure,
does that count? I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. They're not going to be making an appearance in the entire Chaos Saga for the final episode.
Huh. Interesting.
And this story wasn't about them, so I don't know if I have much to say about them.
That's disappointing.
I mean, I can talk about the characters, but yeah, there's nothing really to say here.
Yeah, well, and I say it's hard to talk about the characters because I don't know how to feel about them sometimes, because when he's not mired in angst, I don't know if I have much to say about Short Fuse.
He's a fun enough character.
So that's the thing. That's why I ranted about when he lost the armor the first time. When he is full of angst, that's when he's at his best. I like how over the top he is. He's a funny character, so I like him.
Yeah. Well, and I suppose if you are going to get rid of the armor, then it makes sense that that's the final appearance of the character.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You know, because I suppose if he is in angst all the time, that means he's, unhappy with it. Or maybe not, I don't know. It's weird that he's, just okay with this. Although I guess that's why they have Technosac and build him a new armor if he wants.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wishy-washy.
Yeah, Techno, there's a lot less to say about.
I really want to like her, because her design is cute. She's friends with Amy. She's a tech head when these comics. Well, I don't like. I guess Porker Lewis was the old tech head, but he's not part of the team anymore.
Yeah, she basically replaced Porker.
Yeah, but she just doesn't have much interiority. Like, what?
Not. Yeah.
If she's not helping out Amy or Short Fuse or anybody, what does she do? Like, what is her character? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
No, there's not a whole lot there.
There really isn't.
So I don't know. They're fine. I don't dislike them. I wouldn't be sad to see them come back in some respect.
No,
definitely.
But I do think they deserved better, and I say that recognizing that the next story will have a different pair of brain and brawn friends that is going to be put to the test next time. But I suppose there's a time to put your characters in a box for later, and it's right before the final arc of the series anyway. So let's have a little preview of that arc. Let's move along here to The Coming of Chaos, Kitching and Elson. With Dr. Robotnik out of the action, Sonic and friends are called to save Metropolis from a strange liquid beast.
Oh boy.
You can guess who it is.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, we start out completely showing that they're totally fine, the villains from last time.
Of course.
We also say somewhere in a different dimension. What dimension could this be? I have no idea. Never exposited on.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Weird.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. This could be anywhere.
Yeah,
The
I
rock
figured this.
into another dimension.
I figured they were. I just figured they decided to set up shop underground.
Yeah. Anywho, Robotnik has become depressed and inactive. He barely moves or even eats.
Damn.
Yeah,
Sad to see the big man like this.
It's a shame, but it's interesting. I like my interpretation of this scenario is Robotnik. Well, he's too depressed to do much of anything, including chase away Grimer.
Yeah.
Until he mentions Sonic, of course. That's always his trigger word.
Yeah, that gets him to swat at him.
Yeah.
But Grimer's like, oh, he's just given up. It's so sad. I've got to do something. No, dude, please don't.
Yeah, leave him like this.
Let the heroes be happy. Let Robotnik be nothing.
It's the universe is better off that way.
This is what happens when evil has no room to breathe, I guess.
It's such a confusing. Grimer serves Robotnik. Grimer is scared of Robotnik. Grimer is like, oh, I want to spur Robotnik on it. You might want to be careful there, buddy.
Yeah, did you forget what happened 5 days ago?
Bro.
Anywho, we finally move back to Emerald Hill Zone to see how the heroes are doing, and Sonic is looking a little bit different. So is Amy.
A little.
Yeah,
Amy, I could actually tell. Sonic is like, you almost can't.
Sonic, it's harder to tell until for a little bit.
Actually, I suppose what's funny about Sonic is that he has, this is meant to be, we're moving towards Sonic Adventure, so he has quote-unquote longer quills, but really what it is that they're just not drawing him with the Sonic 3D Blast hair anymore.
Yeah, he looks more like a regular Sonic.
Yeah, but Amy has her modern haircut and boots.
But she's wearing like a hoodie and shorts, which is interesting.
Still gotta have the different outfits, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough.
This is still Sonic the Comic, Amy, so she's gonna dress different.
I do find it funny. Note that Amy just changed styles, and Sonic changed styles too, and that was fine. No explanation needed.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal, Archie.
True. True.
Well, I actually was pointing that out because later this exact story will make a big deal about another part of the transition.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
It does, yeah.
We'll see about that one. But, Sonic is sure that Robotnik is dead. Why?
Oh, yeah, Robotnik is very good at dying and staying dead. And
it's been 5 days. And I suppose AI Kentober, as well as Lewis, who is here, they say our scans haven't shown his body under the wreckage of whatever that place was. So why would you insist that he's dead?
Because what else do they have to do? I mean, why? I guess why not? They have a habit of doing this. That's the thing.
Well, I don't know. Before, Sonic was not even convinced that Robotnik was gone after he saw him shrink into a dust mote. I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah, no, they're acting out of character here, I would say.
Yeah. Anyway, here's a weird monster in Metropolis.
Weird liquid creature.
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like any liquid creature I know.
That's true.
Yeah, on the screen it mostly just looks blue.
Gee, I wonder who this is supposed to be.
Well, let's find out. It's time for Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Johnny to set out on flying bikes like Fang uses.
Yeah, we've just got these now. It feels like there's been more than a 5-day time jump.
Yeah, it's possible. Sonic also, for some reason, is like, hey, why isn't Lewis coming? And Amy has to remind him that he's not a field agent?
Yeah, and then he insults him again. Like, Sonic randomly reverts to super rude.
Yeah. Sonic, bud, we've gotten over this.
That's the thing, is that part of my thesis is that for a period of time, Sonic's dickhead moments just disappeared, and I thought that was part of the reason that Sonic comic fans claim that he's not as much of a jerk as we say, and it's more that they mostly disappear and then become very, very sporadic and weird.
Yeah.
Which weird. I suppose if you're not paying attention may mean that you still see him as his more mature self.
Yeah.
Anywho, we get to the city, and yes, the cops are busy shooting this monster that it really doesn't look liquid. And frankly, it doesn't look much like Chaos. This is a super weird design.
Yeah. So, like, when I first saw this, I was like questioning. I'm like, this is Chaos, right? This has got to be Chaos. And yeah, we don't need to deliberate. It is, but yeah, they just completely changed the design for some reason.
Oh, I know the reason. But yes, he's got like a really big lower jaw. He's got teeth and like big eyebrows. Sonic takes his shot and attacks, or doesn't. He like blows past him, tries to attack, and then stops.
Yeah.
Amy asks why, and he's like, something felt weird. And then Tails and Johnny try, but just like Sonic, they lose their nerve and can't do it.
Interesting.
It's really weird. He has some sort of like terror force field, I guess?
Something like that.
Yep.
Which you'd think would be some interesting mechanic. Like, oh, we have to find some ranged way of taking it out? Like perhaps a crossbow that mysteriously isn't here? But,
That would be helpful.
That would be helpful, yeah.
instead, Sonic's like, nah, we just gotta push through it. So he does. And he just blasts right into him, but he gets stuck inside and bounces around like it's some kind of rubber jelly.
Yeah, I guess less water and more like goo.
Yeah, it's a goo chaos, but the thing barfs him out and disappears down a manhole.
Where you going, you big drip?
I was really hoping that line would make an appearance, but it does not.
It does.
Damn.
Yeah. Shame.
So Amy asks Sonic if he's okay, and he reveals the horrific truth that his eyes are green all the way through. The whites of his eyes are green too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a minute I thought like, oh, what? They're doing a weird plot line. But wait for what happens immediately after this in the next story.
It's really funny. It's like, oh my gosh, we're still doing diegetic in-universe explanations for this, but this time it's going to be relevant. No.
Not really.
Let's move along here to What Price Victory, Kitching and Elson. A lull in the monster battle reveals Grimer's intentions with the Chaos Monster, a desperate plan from Parker Lewis, and an incoming tragedy. And yes, Sonic's eyes are greens now, really green, even the sclera, and he's like, no, I feel good. But then they turn white again, and that's just it. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, the top one, the top panel makes it look like, oh, Sonic's gonna be, like, all weird now. And then they fade, and his eyes are still green, but he's just normal Sonic again. Seemingly.
It's such a non sequitur. You could have done
understand
literally
the
nothing.
Purpose of the, yeah, this did not need to happen.
It's great though. I love it. This is right up there with all the Archie explanations.
Yeah,
but
except
okay.
unlike Archie, we didn't waste an entire issue on it.
Yeah, I will give
Archie, but more
I will
respectful.
give exactly. I'll give it to this comic. They spend only about like a page and a half on it.
It didn't materialize a shoe buckle for him, I might add.
That's true. He's still dressed like dressed. He wears shoes and gloves, but yeah, he still looks the same.
Well, and nobody's proportions have changed either.
Yeah.
Anywho, Lewis is here in a thing. What is that? Airship that looks like a friggin'
delivery van.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, we've never seen that ship before, but he apparently has some tech to stop the monster, which is made out of chaos energy, almost like it's chaos or something.
And Sonic immediately says, "Oh, I already beat it. You don't have to bring your stupid gizmos."
Yeah, it's like, the monster's gone. We don't need your help. I fucking hate you, Lewis.
And then it immediately shows up and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Lewis. I don't hate you."
Yeah, maybe we do need your help. Why are you a dickhead? But
it seems like the writers have decided he's only a dick to Lewis now.
Lewis has become the Jerry. Yeah. But hey, the rumor come out. The secret is revealed. We see that Grimer is the one who released the Chaos creature. It's Chaos. Just call it Chaos.
Yeah.
They do later, but yeah, it is Chaos.
Later, yeah, it's just...
Apparently, Eggman had this thing captive for a while before now, but just didn't use it. But Grimer found the documentation along with a device to control it called the Anti-Chaos Nullifier. How clever, how useful. This is all part of his plan to put Robotnik back on top of Mobius.
Well, it also turns out the Nullifier doesn't work.
There's a reason he didn't use it.
Yeah, it's like, oh damn, Robotnik didn't use this very clearly smart plan. Oh, well, there's a reason why.
And I do love Robotnik's response to all this. He's like, there's no way to control this thing. You've doomed the entire planet, Grimer. This should be interesting. He just wants to sit back and watch. I love it.
Yeah, he just wants to watch the world burn. I do love that. we're getting nihilistic Eggman now, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, this is a good moment for both of them because it once again portrays Grimer as like not being completely competent, which I feel like we kind of lost that. He was too competent for a while, I have to say. And
Well,
and then
seemingly
Robotnik,
implying that like he was the one really doing all the work.
I don't dislike that, but I like that the two of them need each other. That Grimer did way too well on his own, in my opinion. I mean, I guess he had to use Fang's help, but if they'd actually had to like work together and Fang actually had to like, bail him out of some situations, I would have done that differently. But that's good. And yes, I like that even Robotnik is now not, I mean, he's nihilistic now, but he's not like disconnected. Now he's like, okay, I'm going to watch the world burn, which is great.
Yeah.
Good shit. So, meanwhile, back at the battle, Sonic attacks Chaos by throwing a gas tank truck at him, and that's
sure, yeah.
I mean, he spins it up in a tornado. That takes some crazy strength from Sonic.
Tornado's carrying a car.
Ah, you got me. But this lures him onto Lewis's thing. He has a device platform that'll do something to it.
It's very funny because Chaos runs on there, and they're just kind of like, wow, a platform. And then patiently waits while the heroes panic.
He does like a silly pose, like kneeling. I assume this is supposed to take place over maybe a little bit less of a time scale than it looks like it does with the number of panels, but you dumbasses forgot to plug it in.
Oops.
It's not connected right, and Sonic is desperately trying to get close, but Chaos's fear aura is making it too hard. So Johnny does it? Sonic, you overpowered it before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he does get the cables connected, and then Chaos punches him in the chest. But hey, Lewis manages to activate the device, so Chaos disappears. Good job.
Yay.
Nice. Day's one.
Day's one.
And everything is fine.
Everything is perfectly fine.
Everybody's very happy. You can see how happy they are kneeling over there. And Sonic's very happy, saying, hey guys, why are you all kneeling like that? That's what happy people do, right? Oh. They lay the irony on pretty thick as he like mugs the camera, bragging about himself.
Yeah.
But Johnny's dead.
Yeah, so I knew this happened. In fact, while fighting Chaos, this was one of the few things I knew about this comic. I was just curious when it was going to happen, and I'm a little surprised to see it happen so quickly.
One punch was all it took?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't get it. Like, why did they do this? Did the writers realize Johnny was the least interesting member of the crew and decide to make them interesting by killing them?
It kind of feels that way.
Well, one thing that we're going to talk about, not next episode, but the following episode, is that they knew that the comic was going to be ending soon, so they thought that this would raise the stakes. So it really is the same as Princess Sally in Endgame.
Oh. Interesting, okay.
So, yeah, and I knew about this right from the start as well, and I didn't know how to feel about it, because, like, Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles in these comics, they were not always what I wanted, but I can, lean on my knowledge of them from other continuities.
Sure.
Short Fuse has his angst, Lewis has his timidness, those traits made them stand out. Techno didn't have a ton of personality, but her bond with Amy and her tech skills gave her something. Right. Johnny has been a part of the team as long as Lewis, longer than Amy. He is one of the longest-standing, most reliable heroes. He's the muscle in a lot of fights. I never knew him, though. I never had any real traits that I could attach to him. And now, because of this, his sole trait is that he's the guy who dies at the end.
Right.
Yep.
This is what people know Johnny for in these comics.
Before I even read the comics, that's what I knew Johnny for.
And that's fucking sad.
Yeah, that's not really what you want your character to be known for.
But hey, they accomplished their mission of make them interesting in some way.
Yeah.
Apparently so. He is now the hero defined solely by self-sacrifice. But we will see a little bit done with this. It's not like that just happens and then we keep going with another fucking Stringer and McMahon story or something.
That would be great.
God. But we move along here to Night Terrors, Kitching and Elson. The guilt of Johnny's death overwhelming him, Sonic leaves for unknown places. Meanwhile, Chaos isn't finished for good yet, and attacks Angel Island. And boy, reading these in the compiled form makes the start of this story seem very confusing if you didn't realize it was a new story.
Which I didn't.
Yeah, I got confused for a minute, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we start right where the last story left off, except Johnny wakes up and is alive, but then he melts because he's not alive, and this is Sonic having a nightmare.
Yep.
This is,
Like I said, they're laying it on thick.
They are, yeah.
Amy's in his room and is like, just go back to sleep, Sonic. And which room is this? I guess this is his house in Emerald Hill. The place is completely trashed.
Yeah.
This is depression
he
room.
The door and ran back to his hotel in New Tech City.
Oh, God.
And then Amy had to go find it.
Yep.
But Sonic is he's very upset. He blames himself for Johnny's death, even though nobody else does.
Well, no, that's how it goes. That's the trope.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. That makes sense.
No, yeah, I can understand why he would be doing that.
What doesn't make sense to me is his next line. I've risked everyone's lives for years, and it never occurred to me that something like this could happen. What?
Hey, there's been concern about characters dying previously, hasn't there?
The whole time. I'm pretty sure they've done death fake-outs for somebody before, other than Sonic.
Amy and Techno got it earlier this episode.
But either way, that's been mortal peril from day one.
Right. So,
Was he just utterly convinced they could never lose?
I guess so.
Johnny already got turned into a badnik at least once.
It's true.
I guess because nobody's died before now, other than, like, old Sonic clone, he just thought that nobody he knew could die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's coming in a weird time, and
I guess Johnny accidentally took off his plot armor.
kind of seems like that.
It honestly does?
Sonic, you've tried to kill your friends yourself before now and thought that you did. That was Super Sonic's whole thing.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. There have definitely been death fake outs before. Porker was like marooned on Little Planet, like many times. It's weird that he just doesn't think it for some. Maybe there's been so many fake outs. It kind of.
He assumed this one was too.
Yeah, if he was like in denial, like no, Johnny can't be dead.
That's what the dream shows. The dream shows him pretending it was a fake out.
Yes, I guess. That's true. So they're kind of doing that.
These comics are self-aware, so it's possible.
Yeah.
But it's really weird. Anywho, he says, now I know what I've got to do. And he will be gone for a little bit, let's just say.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think we'll see Sonic again until next week. Isn't that correct?
I think that's true.
So, Grimer is tracking Chaos because it's not actually gone.
There is a great frame here of Robotnik tearing into a drumstick.
Yeah, he's got his motivation back. He's eating. Even if his motivation is just to see how this whole place breaks apart. He says that it's made of chaos energy, so it can never truly be destroyed. It's kind of like fighting the Force, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of fiction likes to do that energy can't be destroyed thing.
Yeah. But Chaos is headed for Angel Island. He's floating. I guess he's turned into steam?
Yeah, he's turned into like a cloud or something.
That would be an interesting thing to see them try in the games.
That is really neat.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, that would be interesting because Chaos is water. So what if Chaos could assume a gaseous form and like a solid golem form or something? That'd be interesting.
Well, I suppose Sonic does freeze him in SA1, and that makes him not able to move.
That's true.
Right, but I'm saying, what if Chaos used that to its advantage somehow?
Well, the problem is that Chaos's brain is solid, so...
They don't draw its brain here.
No, it's not drawn with one of these comics. Anywho, Knuckles says that Lewis's data detected chaos energy in Sonic's green eyes, but Amy says Sonic is missing. He's left the hero game, allegedly. I don't believe you.
I don't know why they'd immediately assume that he did.
I mean, I don't know what happened between Sonic saying, now I know what I've got to do, and now, so...
Yeah.
But anyway, some weird mist shows up in the Emerald Chamber. Wonder what's up with that.
I wonder.
So Chaos is here, and talking.
Fine, yeah, good, go ahead.
I mean, sure, yeah.
He says he's here to take what's his, which obviously Knuckles is going to have a problem with that, because he's been fighting for these damn emeralds his whole life, so gotta stop that.
Yeah, so apparently the real answer to how the Echidnas stole the emeralds is they stole them from Chaos. I guess that tracks.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's absorbing the emeralds, so it certainly is not too far off of Sonic Adventure. And Knuckles can't do anything to stop him because he has that stupid fear aura. Now, it is strange that he, like, absorbs them really slowly, but, like, why do you not just take all of them, and why do you keep standing there staring at Knuckles and, like, talking?
He's got to have a dramatic transformation sequence, because now we've got Chaos 1, which does look slightly different.
A little bit.
Although we don't have the bones, no bones.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just how it works.
We've transitioned stories, I might add. The last one ends with Tails and Amy setting up the plane to head to Angel Island. This point, we're at Splashdown, catching an Ellison Chaos Arts, absorbing the Chaos Emeralds, forcing Knuckles to scatter them across Mobius. Sorry. Yes, now we're in the second story. And yes, we now have a slightly different Chaos. His eyes are a little bit greener now, is the main thing I notice. So Knuckles, he can't get close to Chaos, so he runs over to this lever and slams it, which ejects the Chaos Emeralds and scatters them across the world. Or
Okay, why does Angel Island have a feature for that?
I guess for this specific scenario.
That's what I would assume, yeah.
Well, we can't
Okay.
break the Master Emerald because the Master Emerald doesn't have the same significance in this comic, and Chaos wasn't sealed
Right.
inside it, so...
Yeah.
Although I only see 5 leaves, so maybe the blue one is still inside him. But,
I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, it'd be kind of weird. If we're doing Sonic Adventure, they'd collect them one at a time, so I figure, oh yeah, they just have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this spurs the villains into action because Grimer detects, oh, the Chaos Emeralds have moved, which means they're no longer safely protected on Angel Island. And Robotnik is like, that's my cue. I'm putting on a new coat for this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love Robotnik and Eggman garb. That is great.
It's the Eggman
Robotnik
coat.
look with the Eggman coat is pretty cool.
And yes, Archie, he doesn't have to be a completely different person. This is just,
No.
he just puts on a new outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's on the move. I like this frame of him running. It looks funny. And you can tell Grimer's very happy to see him up and at him as well.
Definitely.
He's thinking, hey, my plan paid off.
Yeah, it did work eventually.
Yeah.
Amy and Tails finally arrive on Angel Island after all this with Knuckles. He is extremely sad about all this. He's like, it was my life's work. I'm so upset that I fucking had this happen. And he says, there's nothing for me to live for anymore. What are you talking? You lost the emeralds. I know that sucks, but...
Yeah, but like you can get them back.
This is so ridiculous. Like, he's dealt with similar situations before.
Yeah.
Like, the dude had to, like, rebuild the Master Emerald at one point. And now he's just like, nope, time to die.
Is Knuckles
got
going to
nothing
want to
else to
see
live
the
for.
world die as well? He's become like
God.
Eggman.
Gosh.
Actually, no, here's what this is. This is Sonic and the Black Knight, where after Sonic beats Gawain Knuckles, he's like, that's it, I have to kill myself.
I did not know that was a thing.
Oh, you're going to love that game, trust me. And I like this next panel because Amy says, Knuckles, just give me one more chance to persuade you, as she's picking up an iron bar. Is she going to beat the shit out of him?
I kind of that feels kind of like the implication, but I know it's not what's actually happening.
All but proven to be the case in a few panels.
It's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, that's a good point.
And yes, indeed. The focus of the next page is this awesome 2-page spread of Angel Island falling into the ocean. But yes, in here is a panel of Knuckles rubbing his head and thanking Amy for heroically beating the depression out of him.
Amy looks so proud of herself for doing that also.
That's amazing.
That is fucking incredible.
I mean, it's horrible, but it's really funny.
What's the point of having a friend if they can't hit you over the head with an iron
That's
bar?
true. That's true. I'd trust Devin to do it.
Also, like, it's a good thing that she did that, because apparently, if Knuckles had seen this happen with Angel Island falling into the ocean while he was in the
Might
state he
just
was
jumped into
before,
the water.
yeah, he would have just walked into the sea. But the gang regroups and decides we're going to go out and find the emerald. It's going to be an uphill battle, but we can do it. And hey, Sonic is back.
Yeah, so he does show up at the very end.
What was he doing?
The self-discovery.
I guess.
I mean, he did. I mean, even in SA1, they do imply that he went off to do like training after the end of whatever the last game was before SA1.
Yeah, but this all happened in one day that Amy said he was gone, so he can't have been gone very long.
He moves fast, so you can do a lot in one day.
That's true.
He was doing a Zac Efron, like, angrily sing at myself on a golf course journey of self-discovery.
Okay.
Isn't this the place for High School Musical references? It's the end of the series. We can do whatever we want. That's the end of today's episode. What the heck to say? So much stuff happened. We are fully back in the plot. And I'll say this.
Yeah.
Like, whatever we may say about the Game Over arc, the fact that it wasn't more filler made it a lot better.
Oh,
That's true.
yes. I prefer it to filler,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. But it definitely felt like it was recycling a lot of concepts.
Yeah. But with all this chaos stuff, it's so new, it's so exciting, It really is, we are really ramping things up here, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knew a game adaptation was what you needed to bring things back into flow?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm so excited. There's so much intrigue and so much weird stuff, and I love seeing, creative takes on game concepts. It's like, we gave respectable amounts of credit for Archie for trying to be faithful in their adaptation. That thing was a fucking mess, though. Whereas this is just...
that Archie SA1 was a mess. This
is doing whatever it wants, but it's, I don't know where this is going to go, genuinely, other than the fact that I read this already, but I wouldn't know where this is going.
It's taking aspects of SA1, but also saying we're going to do our own thing with it.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we cannot finish tonight. We have to finish next week with our final episode of the Sonic the Comic content. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, should be good.
I'm holding up my thumbs. You can't see that because this is not a video podcast.
Yeah. So I am excited both for what they do with the story and for Sonic the Comic to be over because, yes, some of this stuff fucking exhausted me.
Yes. Yeah.
This is, I was going to say this next week, but you could cut together a version of this comic where you just burn about 80% of the 5-page stories, and it would be so much more of a brisk read that I would unambiguously...
you could burn a lot of the filler.
I would unambiguously call that version of the story at least solid, maybe not great, but...
It'd be peak fiction.
Plot-only Sonic the Comic, I would at least recommend it to people.
Oh,
yeah, if someone wanted to put that together, I would definitely recommend it.
I might try that if I can find an editor for CBZ files that lets me see what the pages are individually. But with all that said, that's when we're going to hang off for tonight. We will see you next week for another exciting episode, our final Sonic the Comic episode. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I thank you to my friends for being here and to our viewers for being here. If you want to contact us, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I will see you next week for another exciting episode. I hope you have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week, and take care.